Good morning. It is time once again for Joyful Joynts class. I'm Paula and I'm here at Pranabar and we are in Carmel, Indiana. And I am so happy to be here with you. Whether we are here in real time together, thank you for those of you who are finding us live. It's just a good time. And for those of you who are catching the recordings, those of you who are coming back to the recordings over and over again, props to you. Each time might feel like the first time as we grow and change. You know, that happens every single day. Our bodies are different. Each day we wake up, there's something potentially different. And so each time we come back to these Joyful Joynts classes, whether they're from something in the recent past or maybe you're reaching back 4 years, we are different, so each class can feel different. So again, welcome to you all this morning. It is so happy to see you here. We are in our third month. It happens to be the holiday time that we're recording these. So you have this beautiful poinsettia here, just to denote that it's holiday time. And we're working on refreshing ourselves. We're working on allowing us to envision a holiday season that is refreshing and rejuvenating versus a lot of people might go into the holidays with the thought process of like, oh my gosh, it's all coming up. We're going to have to go to all these parties. I can't wait till the holidays are over so I can relax. And what we would like to do is help shift that so that really December, the entire month, the entire holiday season is about celebrating the work we've put in through the year as we've been moving toward specific goals, and to stop and go, wow, you know, look how far I came on that path and on that journey. Some of you may have realized your goals and blown past them, but others of us might have just gotten at least partway there. And we can celebrate that partial journey because, gosh, what if we never had the idea to try to move toward that dream? We would still be stuck where we were 12 months ago, right? Or 11 months ago. So celebrate the steps that you've taken and clearly see them. And that clearly seeing is where we come into our work. We're doing our eye practices. To enjoy our eye practices or to make sure we're getting the most out of it, I'd also like to introduce today an assessment, because we do assess and reassess or check and recheck, so we know in real time which of the exercises are most effective and efficient for me right now. So today we're going to practice a balancing reassessment. So everybody stand. We're going to do this very quickly. We can dive into this much deeper at another time, but let's start off by, we always have our chair. So if standing on its own is a wobbly state for you, please utilize something so that we're not going to topple over. If you're stable, then you can use something without holding on with your hands. And we're going to start by just putting our feet all the way together, Yes. And guess what? All the way together, standing with feet, for many of us becomes very unstable. We can feel the wobbles in our body. Okay? So I want you to assess that. If putting your feet together alone gives you wobbles, how wobbly is it on a scale from 0 to 10? For those of you who are stable, let's take it a step further. Close your eyes. Take your vision out of it. When your eyes are closed and your feet are together, did the degree of wobbliness go up? Very good. If it did go up, what now is your number from 0 to 10? How wobbly would you consider yourself? 10 is you fell over as soon as you tried to close your eyes. Okay, so we're looking for something in the like maybe 5 to 6 range where we're wobbly, but we're controlling it and we're safe. If you are stable on 2 feet with your eyes closed, you could take that another step and pick up 1 foot. So we're simply balancing on 1 leg, right? Now I might balance on 1 leg with a hold. I might be stable on 1 foot. I'm going to give myself a number. And then you could take that 1 step further and also close your eyes while standing on 1 foot. Now, the interesting thing is we're watching this on the video is I look pretty darn stable. I am more stable when I'm teaching. My nervous system happens to love teaching. But if you saw me trying to do that same exercise in somebody else's class, there's a high probability that I'd be stepping out of it and toppling over on my own. So be aware of your surroundings. But I love it when people are watching me and I'm getting to share information. I am much more stable in that space. All right, so did everybody get their number? You have your balance thing that you're gonna recheck, and you have the number. It is time to exercise. Please grab your focal pointer. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, what I'm using is just simply this plastic stick with it's like they're holding up the number 1. But this is not something that you must have. You can have a pencil, a pen, any small thing that can be a point of focus for you. That's what we mean by focal point. Let's begin with our favorite, our convergence drill. So drawing that in. Let's review some of our favorites, because I know some of us don't practice unless we're in class. You're squeezing your eyes to try to see that focal point, and then we slowly take it away from your nose. Very good. We hold. We draw that focal point in. As the eyes come together, the word for that is called convergence. Converge, to come together. Hold. And while it's touching your nose, notice the effort required. Slowly take that away. So our eyes are slowly moving apart from each other as the focal point gets further away. The word for that is divergence. Diverge, to move away. Let's do 2 more times. Draw it all the way in. Give it a squeeze and hold. And slowly take it away. And excellent. So that was 4 of what we call pencil push-ups or convergence drill. After that, we reassess. Since we have a new assessment, I'd like for you to go ahead. We might stand up and try this a lot. If you start to get tired, just take a break from the constant checking and rechecking and just do the exercises with us. So it was feet together, part 1. Step 2, eyes closed for some of you. Step 3 was 1 foot for some of you. And step 4 was eyes closed on 1 foot. And we spend about 10 seconds there, because at first, as your brain changes, you might have a big balance challenge, but then what happens after that is what we're interested in. What happens after your body is making an adjustment? Is it calmer? Is it smoother? So you check and see, all right, before I started, I was at a 7, and this time I feel like I was at a 5. That is an improvement, which means the convergence drill is a positive. Your body likes it. All right, what's next? The next one, we'll do single eye, cover up one eye. This is my left eye covered. Or you can work with me like a mirror. I'm holding my focal pointer about 18 inches from my nose, and I'm going to work upward and hold it here. And then we're going to swing downward and hold it here. We're going to swing upward. Now we're going to add on, while I'm holding this up, I'm now going to, actually I remember what we did last week. I'm going to hold this up and I'm going to give it a little shake. So while I'm stretching my right eye upward, I'm also shaking my focal point, which is putting some extra input into the system. And let's bring it back down. Let's try the bottom point like that. Down to the bottom. Let's give it a little shake. A little shake. I remember when this first happened and I started doing the shaking, my whole brain about went like, wow, what's happening? And then slowly bring it back to the center. Release, blink your eyes. Wow. So for some of us, you're going to start to become very sensitive to sensations in your body, in your brain, in your energy field, maybe even. And I want you to take some time just to sense those. Now we could jump up and do a balance challenge, but let's keep ourselves from getting too tired today. Let's do a convergence drill. after only having done one eye. And let's see if you notice any comparison or contrast. So for me, this is an example, the focal pointer itself is clearer, except when it comes in close. It's less clear than last time up close. It's more clear than last time far away. Okay, I'm just going to observe that. I'm not going to offer a number to that one because I'm not sure what that means yet. So I'm just going to let it be. And I encourage you to do that. Don't always have to have a reason or a why or an understanding. Just do it and feel it for a while until the understanding comes. Let's do our other eye now. So I'm now covering my right eye, holding the focal pointer 18 inches away from my left eye. And we're going to move upward. I'm following the focal pointer up, 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 and holding it. Woo-wee. And then we come back to the center. And I'm going to take that focal pointer down, down, down. Are you sitting up tall in your chair? Are you slumping? Is your spine tall? Just check. And bring that focal pointer back to the center. Here we go. Up, up, up to the top. All right, so unless you are already having a lot of issues, maybe you back off a little if you're having a ton of strain, try the shaking. Try shaking that focal pointer and see what happens. Oh boy. And then we'll bring it back to the center. One thing that's happening is my left hand is not as adept at giving my focal pointer a shake. What about you guys? A little body imbalance here, right? Dominant side. I have a beautiful, we have a doctor of chiropractic who just does wonderful work. And that's one of the first things she tells people to do is to do something with your non-dominant hand at least a few times a day. Let's not get so stuck in our patterns. So maybe I'm going to do more of my eye drills using my left hand because it feels really awkward. And I'm not a fan of having that big of an imbalance from one side to the other. Let's go down one more time. Shake, 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 shake. And bring it back to the center. So overall, I'm having this sense of how difficult that was to do with my left eye. And I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna make a note of that. If I had my journal next to me, I would write it down, recognizing, my two halves of my body are not feeling, they're feeling very different. And our goal through Joyful Joints, one of the things is to get a more balanced, to have our margin of difference be much smaller. So not exactly the same, but smaller is when our nervous system is happier. So let's come back to our convergence drill. All the way in and squeeze. And then slowly take it away. Excellent. Do it again. Draw it in. Hold. And slowly take it away. Awesome. So again, for me, it looked a little clearer throughout the range that time. So I'm giving myself a thumbs up from the left eye working. Let's check our balance to see where we're at. Feet together, or eyes closed, or 1 foot, or 1 foot and eyes closed. Wow. So what I'm noticing is that my ankle is responding a lot more. I'm shaking less through the upper part of my body. My foot and ankle are working a lot harder, which means for me, they've come online, so my balance is better. So I'm good. I'm a thumbs up. What about you guys? If you're subscribing, go ahead and click a little heart in there or a thumbs up and let us know how these exercises are working for you. And that'll be wonderful. Okay, so last week we worked on some near and far while our eyes were turning from side to side. So let's go ahead and re-practice that. So take your focal pointer, hold it, I'm with my left hand, holding it close to my face. Keeping my head still, I'm going to turn my eyes to look at that focal pointer up close. I'm getting a A little bit fuzzy picture. That's all right. Now I'm going to turn my eyes to the right and I'm going to focus on something far away. Remember this one? So I'm looking at the building across the parking lot out the window. Here we go, back to left and close in. I am having a very difficult time getting this to come into focus, but that's okay, I'm just noticing it. And far away to the right. Let's go back and forth on your own 3 more times. Near and far and near and far. Last one, near and far. And release. Woo-wee. So much fun. Let's do the other side. So right hand, the focal pointer is close to the face. My head stays straight ahead. I turn my eyes, I look at the focal point up close. And it's still not very clear on this side. Interesting. Now turn your eyes to the other side. This will be to the left and see something far. So I'm looking at the poster on the wall and directly at a certain letter. Here we go. Near to the right and far to the left. You might notice how long it takes for your eyes to adjust to near. I'm not sure my eyes are adjusting to near today. Must be a little tired, okay. And away, far to the left. That was quicker this time. And near, let's do 2 more. And far, and near, and far. Good. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but I'm having the giggles. Doing sometimes these eye exercises just give me the giggles and how we just take our eyes and our vision for granted and don't even realize what an effect this is having on us. I mean, we're looking around, right? We blame the sidewalk for having a crack as we're walking and we trip over it. The sidewalk needs to be fixed. Well, maybe if my eyes more quickly could adapt to seeing near and far in different directions, I would have seen the crack and I would have adjusted how I was taking a step. So anyway, it's fascinating to me. How about you guys? Are you getting a kick out of this? All right, so the other thing we did last week was we introduced turning our head while our eyes stayed focused in one position. So let's go ahead and again, we'll put our focal pointer down. We're going to focus on a point at the wall in front of us. Stay focused with your eyes while you turn your head to the side. And then to the other side. Now, I want you to first find what's the range. How far can I turn my head while still looking at that point directly? And then the other side, how far can I turn while still looking directly? Once we find the edges, how far we can go, I want you to think about the speed. Can I speed up and keep that point in focus? How fast could I go before my eyes start to wander from that focal point? And I felt in my body already a release of tension in my neck while I'm doing this exercise. Wow, thank you. And here my eyes are starting to wander, so that's about as fast as I'm going to go, but we're still going for another 10 seconds or so. We'll do this for time because I want this to have some endurance. There you go. And release. Woo-wee. Yeah, if our eyes only have the endurance to work and to move for a few seconds, that might not be so functional out in the real world. I want to go for a nice long walk, and I want my eyes to be able to see the cracks that are showing up in front of me for the entirety of the walk, not just the first few steps that I made. So that's something you can also be looking at throughout this practice. So how is the work we're doing affecting you out in the real world with things that you want to do? Do you feel more confident and stable and comfortable when you're walking your dogs or when you're getting in whatever number of steps or doing your workouts or making your meals, creating your refreshments? Next one is a variation on just turning our head from side to side. We're going to keep our eyes to the front, and we're going to move our head diagonally. So I'm going to take my nose and make it move up and to the corner of the room, but I'm still looking forward at my point. Now I'm going to take my nose and I'm going to point it down to the other side, but I'm still looking at that point. Now, some of you, I felt your nervous system, your brain just like went wah and had like an explosion, because this is going to be a movement that might be completely foreign to your brain at this moment. All it is pointing my nose up to the right diagonal, down to the left diagonal, while simultaneously trying to look straight ahead at my focal point on the wall. There you go. Do you have to be good at things in joyful joints for them to work? Correct. No, you do not. All you have to have is a willingness to investigate what it might be like to try to move my nose here and there. And you could be completely wrong. But that's the lovely thing about joining us virtually. Nobody can see you. So you can practice without fear of being ridiculed. How's that sound? And the cool thing is, one day, it's just going to pop into place and your head is going to move in that way. You're going to be like, wait, where did that come from? It came from your effort that you're putting in right now. So pat yourself on the back. Way to go, me. And maybe if you, I don't know, videotape yourself and you can giggle at yourself looking silly trying to make your head move in this direction, that could be fun too. All right, let's go the other direction, shall we? So focal point with your eyes, look straight ahead on the wall. The nose goes up to the left this time. Nose is up and to the left while you're looking straight ahead. And now my nose goes down and to the right while I'm keeping my eyes focused there. Nose up and left. Nose down and right. Perfect. Up left. You're like, how do you know that was perfect, Miss Paula? Well, I know because I know you're trying. And that in itself is perfection. Good. And down. Here we go. Up left. Down right. Last one. Up left. And down right. And then return to the center. Whoa, shake that out. Okay, I think that deserves a recheck of our balance, shall we? Pick yourself, pick your point, check it out. I want to thank you guys for being here because you are helping me realize that I can have good balance. You're asking me to check on myself and doing it right along with us. Awesome. What'd you get? Was that fun? Was it discombobulating? Sometimes when we work with our eyes and as we move our head, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but when we work with our eyes and head movement together, it's stimulating our vestibular system. It is getting communication between our eyes and our inner ears to work better, to be clearer. And that inner ear system is so important to balance. It is often overlooked. And when we do have challenges in our visual system or in our inner ear, it leads us to want to have to hold our head really still and tight, which then contributes to stiff neck and uncomfortable shoulders. Because our eyes and ears aren't adapting very well. They're afraid of moving because we get discombobulated, like we said. And so to combat that, our compensation is, let me just hold my head as still as I possibly can, and then maybe the rest of my body will come into balance. But it's actually the exact opposite. When we hold on tight like that, we actually diminish the communication. We restrict the channels where the brain talks to the body. And in that restriction, we lose connection, our balance deteriorates. So if nothing else, really work on your eyes and your ears and letting that neck be free. So our final exercise today is going to involve our peripheral vision. We worked on that last week, but we're going to do it with a check of tilting our head from side to side. So what I'd like you to do, just check and see. Are you even able to understand what tilt from side to side means? Is it really sticky? Does it not want to go very far? Is it uncomfortable? I have stickiness when I tilt my head to the right. The left side is like, that's a big stretch for us. What's going on? Some people don't even know how to turn their head side to side, and they'll end up making their nose point down. To do this properly, we want our nose straight ahead and the top of our head like a flashlight shining from one wall to the other. Okay, now, since I was feeling that on my left side, we're going to do peripheral vision. So I'm going to move in front of the flower here. And remember last week we had our twinkle fingers and we opened them up. We saw how far we could go. I invite you to review that. Today, I want us to take one hand. So I'm going to practice tilting my head to the right. So I'm going to hold my right hand out to the side. I'm going to twinkle my fingers. My focus is straight ahead still. With focus straight ahead, I can see in my peripheral vision my fingers twinkling, and I'm going to tip my head in that direction. Magically, now that I have awareness of my peripheral vision, all of the stress and the strain in my opposite side where I was feeling it is gone. Like literally, it went from a 6 maybe to a 0.5. And bring your head back up. What? That's pretty powerful. Let's do the other side. So we're looking straight ahead, twinkling our fingers. I see them in my peripheral vision, but my eyes are still focused forward, and I tilt my head toward that hand, toward that peripheral vision. So I'm still aware of looking forward. I still can see my fingers simultaneously, and my head, I think, tilted further. I invite anybody out there who wants to measure it. I'd love to know. I'm not that detailed. I just know it feels better, so I'm going with it. Here we go. Some of us need angles to prove it, right? That's quite all right. Here we go. Twinkle, looking, seeing peripherally, tilting my head in that direction. Staying there for a moment. Maybe asking my head if it wants to tilt any further. Beautiful. Stay aware of that peripheral vision. Mine keeps like turning off is what I'm noticing. I'm seeing directly, but sometimes I am not being aware of my fingers. Good. Bring it back. Other side. One more time. Look, twinkle, see the peripheral, tilt your head. My head feels like it tilted differently this time. That's interesting. Good. And bring it back. Good. Shake, 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 shake that out. I'm going to move this guy back. Whatever was the most challenging. Remember moving your nose to the corners might have been challenging. Let's do that again. Can you more easily turn your nose on that diagonal while you're looking forward? Does it make more sense? That's all I want to know. Other side. Up one side, down the other. Whoops, my eyes need to stay there. Let me try that again. So our eyes stay forward while our nose draws a diagonal line. I suppose you could practice this. You could put a sheet of paper up on the wall and you could attach a pencil to your nose or something and see how well you're doing with drawing a diagonal line. Ways to practice that are kind of fun and silly. Awesome. Let's go back, do 2 more pencil push-ups. I'm going to use my non-dominant hand again. And we might notice more ease, more clarity, less ease, less clarity. We're just observing any comparison and contrast to where we started the class. And then, of course, let's finish with our balance. Let's finish. Feet together. How are you doing? What is your number improvement and what percentage improvement does that mean? Whatever percentage improvement you were able to gain through the course of our literally just 30 minutes together, if you can improve your balance that much in just 30 minutes, what might happen, fill over a little more. What might happen over time if you practice regularly? Kind of exciting to think about, right? Can you see a vision? Can you picture yourself with great balance, being comfortable in the world, feeling safe and secure no matter where you're going? What would that feel like? What does it look like? See it clearly, and then let's aim for that. And in aiming for that, I hope you can use these tools for Joyful Joints. Amazing to see you all. Please continue to send us your wins. Please continue to share and subscribe and like and do all those things that they say you're supposed to do, because we really want to get this information out to as many people as possible. I personally really enjoy meeting people who are in a more joyful space. It makes the world just that much neater, and it starts with us. So thank you again for being here. We will see you guys again next week. Enjoy your time.